Cost of equity. Cost of equity is based on the rate of return required by a firm's stockholders. So the cost of preferred stock is dividends received divided by preferred stockholders. That represents annuity, or a perpetuity is actually what it represents. The cost of retained earnings is the return that common stockholders require from a firm to earn on funds that have been retained, thus invested by the firm, rather than paid out. Just as important, cost of new external equity is the rate of return required by common stockholders. But you have to take in consideration the cost of issuing that new cost, the issuance cost or flotation cost, as the book calls it. The cost of preferred stock, rate of returns the firms that investors require on the firm's preferred stock. So the rate is RPS, or R subscript PS, is that dividend paid on preferred stock divided by the net proceeds. So in this case, we're talking about net proceeds would be the price of the preferred stock minus flotation costs. So that would be P0 divided by 1 minus F. The flotation cost is given as a percent in the problems. So and this is NP0 is a per share. So just to keep that clear. Preferred stock example. So the firm has preferred stocks. So following characteristics: a $20 market price, a dividend is $12.80, flotation cost is 3%. So the rate of return required by, or the cost of preferred stock, the RPS, is the dividend divided by the market price multiplied by 1 minus the flotation cost, or 1 minus 0.03. So that's $12.80 divided by 120 times 0.97. That is 11%. It's a good idea to work through these problems and make sure that you're able to get the same answers with your calculator. So important, there's no tax adjustment on preferred stock because preferred dividends are not tax deductible. Neither are common dividends. Important distinction. That's why the cost of debt is effective cost of debt is actually so much lower. So, cost of retained earnings. The firm has to earn a return, reinvested earnings sufficient to satisfy stockholders' investment demands. So, in addition, if the rate of return is less than the cost of retained earnings, then you're reducing the value of the firm. If the firm doesn't earn a sufficient return on retained earnings, then earnings should be paid out as dividends. It would actually, a firm would be more valuable as a result of paying out those dividends than it would be keeping them in-house and investing in what we would call inferior projects. So the stock market is at or near equilibrium, as I mentioned before. The following relationship should exist. So the required rate of return is equal to the risk-free rate plus the risk premium. So it's also equal to the dividend. This is the dividend yield right here. The dividend next year divided by the current price plus the growth rate. And this is equal to the expected return on retained earnings. So this actually this is basically the constant growth model that we covered in Chapter 7, just rearranged. If you could rearrange this and come up with the formula, if I can write, there we go. So P0 is equal to D1 divided by R minus G. So this is just a this is, so R sub S here, but so that is the and the so this is actually a variation of the capital asset pricing model. So the risk premium stock, this portion would be beta times the expected return on the market minus the risk-free rate. So that's where this comes from. So they, in equilibrium, they should, these two should tie together. Cost of retained earnings CAPM approach. So the cost R sub S, as I showed before, is equal to the risk-free rate plus the risk premium for that stock. So that's equal to the risk-free rate plus the market risk premium, which is just the return on the market minus the risk-free rate multiplied by the beta for that stock. So that's how we break it out into the capital asset pricing model. The risk premium is the risk premium for the market or the average risk stock. And again, make sure you don't confuse the risk premium with the expected return on the market. The risk premium, we subtract out the risk-free rate. So RM is the market average, market return or average stock, so forth. Most cases, the S&P 500 is an accepted measure for the return on the market. I'll finish discussing the CAPM approach on the next lecture.